Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Don't touch me.
No, I want to. Don't talk about my marriage.
Don't touch me.
Run away, Meredith.
I don't speak to people who treat me with disrespect.
Hey y'all, welcome in. Today we're talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's season 4, episode 6. So the episode opens up with, remember, Angie, who was just told by Monica and Whitney what the rumors about her husband were. And they're trying to pin this on Meredith. So Angie gets up and goes straight to Meredith and is confronting her. But Meredith says that there has been rumors and she's heard of them, but she's never actually said what they were. And as they're in the midst of that discussion, Angie says, well, if anybody knows about opening their legs up to strangers, it should be you, Meredith. So just like anyone who would be insulted would do, Meredith gets up and leaves. But of course, Angie goes around following her and says, Meredith, this isn't your first time doing this. You spread rumors about Lisa. And she tries to grab Meredith, and Meredith says, don't touch me. And she walks away, and they're like screaming across the room. It was wild. Clearly, Angie doesn't know how to talk to people because every time she tries to, she's always pulling these attacks, these personal digs, which a lot of them sound like rehearsed reads, to be honest. Meanwhile, Monica is like happily telling everybody what the rumor is, and if we're being real, Monica is the one who's guilty because she's the one carrying the damn bone. Anyway, Heather claims to have already heard the rumor, but Lisa and Whitney say that they have never heard it, so I don't know. So Mary is asking Lisa if there's any food, so Lisa orders some food to be made for Mary, which I love Mary, y'all know that. I love how she shades the other women, but I do have to say I didn't like the way she spoke to the employee who was making her food by calling him lazy. That was not cool. But anyway, they all leave after that, and on her way out, Angie does say to Meredith, I'm so sorry your life is so miserable, and Meredith says, well, I'm sorry for you. Okay, so the next scene is a day after the event, and Angie is in her home, and she's telling her husband what these rumors are that have been spread out. And I'll be honest, I don't like Angie. I think she's thirsty and too much, but I did feel bad in this scene because her husband has had to deal with these accusations for a lot of years now, simply because of what his occupation is. So I felt that was not fair to him, and he can't help but to cry when he hears this because he knows his daughter will be hearing this in the future. So that sucks. I don't like that at all. But here's the thing, I don't like it either that, like I said, I can agree that I don't like the rumors and stuff, but it's wrong that they're putting the blame solely on Meredith, as if she's the one who came up with it, as if she's the one who was spreading it around, which isn't the case. So Sean ends up telling Angie that Meredith is not allowed in their house. So that was that scene. Then we move on to Monica. She's in her house, and it's kind of different to see a house like hers on The Real Housewives, because it's like, you know, what you would expect of normal middle America, I guess, a person to have. So she's waking up and cooking breakfast for her kids. She has a lot of kids, and she's waking them up and getting them ready to go to school. The next scene is a very real scene with Lisa and her son, because her son is going on a mission, so she's trying to spend as much time as possible with him as she can. At her party, Heather actually ended up bringing a few questions about him going on this mission, but he seems pretty determined to do so, and apparently nobody forced him. But it did leave me thinking if maybe because I remember last season he was really adamant about not going to college. He did not want to do it whatsoever. So I'm thinking maybe this was a way for him to get out of that, but he seems to be all into this stuff, and he's doing a lot of stuff. Like, he has to read this book, and they have to go to the temple where not everybody is worthy of going. You have to wear a special garment, which is why Lisa can't enter the temple, which you would think that the temple is where you would go to redeem yourself. That's a whole different conversation though. But it was a nice scene between mother and son. So moving on, Lisa, Whitney are over at Angie's house, and Angie is talking to them about how traumatized she is by this rumor, which maybe she's exaggerating a little bit, just a little bit. But she does tell them that her husband cried about it and that they're hurting. It looks like these three are like the new BFFs. Lisa does say that this makes her want to put the brakes on her rebuilding her friendship with Meredith, which it shouldn't. Like, if she genuinely accepted to work on the friendship with Meredith, she shouldn't need to put herself in the middle. So that speaks a lot of where she's at. But then Whitney, oh my goodness, I can't stand her. She says this is Meredith's MO. This is what she does. She did this last year. And when Lisa brings up that Monica was actually the one, saying the rumor out loud, Whitney quickly says, well, no, don't get tricked. She's just a pawn being used by Meredith. It's all Meredith. That screams not only guilt, but a lack of accountability by this little girl, Whitney, because she is, always has been, and always will be the center of these problems, because that's what she does. And she really is the master manipulator, but I can see right through her fakeness. She's faker than a $3 bill. She don't fool me. Angie then changes the topic and talks about Heather for a few seconds, because she was actually at Heather's house a few days ago, and this came as a total surprise, not only to Angie but to me as well, because Heather apologized to Angie for all that she had to, quote, endure in that girls' trip, which I'm confused why Heather is doing this, but it left a really good impression with Angie that there might be a possibility of her being okay with her. But Lisa loses her natural mind when she hears this, because she says, well, Heather has never done that to me. She's never apologized. She starts crying, and then I'm just there sitting like, how are you making this about yourself? The hell, like, what is going on? It was crazy. But okay, moving on, Meredith is in the car with her son Brooks, which, what is going on with these people's glasses in this show? But anyway, as they're driving, she shares something that happened. So after leaving Lisa's party, she was on the car, and they were caught in a snowstorm, and the driver lost control. They were driving by a cliff, and it was either going off the cliff or crashing into a snowboard. So thankfully they didn't fall off the cliff, obviously, but it was terrifying because she truly felt like those were her last minutes of her life. She thought she was gonna die. And let me tell you something, as someone who was in a not so nice car experience, I know how scary it can be, because so many people have lost their lives in these types of accidents. So for the editors of the show to put funny comedy music as Meredith is telling this story was disgusting. What the hell was that? But anyway, she talks to Brooks about dating and stuff like that, and they go on ice skating at the parking lot. I have no idea what the hell they were doing, but that's what that was. Okay, so the next scene is Monica, and she's spending time with her mother and grandmother, and they actually went through a McDonald's drive-thru to get a fish fillet sandwich, which I'm like, is there a little partnership going on here between McDonald's? Because this happened with Mary. But yeah, that was funny. And then they take the grandma to some senior citizen memorial center place where they like play bingo and cards and stuff like that, and I was just like, wow, this show really is all over the place. So the grandma's playing with her friends, having a good time, and then Monica takes her mom to another table just for the two of them to talk. They're talking about her mom's dating. She was apparently dating this dude, and then somebody got ghosted and they broke up because the mom doesn't want to have sex before marriage, which is a religious belief. But Monica is making fun of her for following some of these beliefs, and she says that she doesn't want her kids to be believers. And then Monica says to her mom, you apologize for raising me in the Mormon church. The mom claims she never did this, and before you know it, Monica starts saying that, you raised me Mormon and I was knocked up when I was 19, you ruined me. And they're going back and forth who had the hardest time as a single mother, and Monica starts saying some very nasty bad words that apparently the mom said when she thought she had hanged up the phone, and all the old folk can hear this conversation, so the grandma has to tell her to stop using these bad words. The mom feels like there needs to be some boundaries because Monica doesn't talk to her as her mom. She talks to her as if she were just any regular old common person. So when Monica hears this, she's like, oh, well, if you want to talk about boundaries, you can't walk into my house. Listen, it sounds like they have a really rough history, and it sounds like her mom might be toxic, and maybe Monica is as well. But I would never go on national television and treat my mom like she was the scum of the earth and disrespect her like that. But you know what? This is the same woman who screwed her brother-in-law, so I really don't expect any morals from her. Then the final scene is Heather and Whitney, who went skiing. They're also trying to fix their relationship, which it seems pretty solid now, to be honest. They talk about Lisa's party, and Heather mentions that she actually talked to Lisa about the mission her son is going on. And Whitney's response to the mission is, well, good for him, which surprises Heather because they both think that the church was traumatizing and dramatic. So Heather expected Whitney to be more against it, which I think two things can be true. It is really none of Heather's business, but her concerns are understandable since she actually went on a mission and all the experiences that she's had. But maybe Whitney does think that it's wrong, but maybe she just wants to be in Lisa's good graces. So they're kind of going back and forth about that. But since they're on the topic of Lisa, Whitney tells Heather about this reaction that Lisa had when she found out Heather invited Angie over to her house, which totally surprised Heather. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. So looks like we finally got a boring episode. So we've had literally 5 weeks of just super good, dramatic and entertaining episodes, and we finally got our filler episode. And listen, I get it, not all the episodes can be dramatic and like out of this world, but this was just a filler episode, so I didn't really think much of it. So what were y'all's opinion about the episode, specifically on Angie telling Sean about the rumors and his reaction, Monica, how she treats her mom, and Lisa's reaction to Heather trying to fix things with Angie? Let me know, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on next time. You have a great one. Bye.